What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. Today, I'm going to be going through my top 20 favourite motocross tracks that were released in 2022. This is a video that was requested, and I originally tried doing a top 10 of everything combined, supercross, freeride, motocross, and I generally couldn't do it. We've had so many good tracks released this year that I wanted to break it down a bit more. I think there's 11 paid tracks and 9 unpaid tracks in this list as well, so it wasn't even intentional, but it's been balanced out really well, and I hope you enjoy. If you've been enjoying the content recently, please feel free to press that subscribe button. I'm really trying to do big things in 2023, and that all starts with yourselves and clicking that one button. I really appreciate all the support and hope you can join us on this amazing journey. On to the video. So first up, we have got the Baker's Factory, more importantly the main motocross track on the Baker's Factory, and I'd like to say that these are in no particular order, by the way. I've even randomised which order I even say these in, rather than which order I've picked them in anyway. This track is amazing. It's so beautiful. The ruts flow really nicely. I love the textures, like that Floridian sand as well. It's just so pretty. I think this is probably one of the best overall compounds in the game, not just one of the best motocross tracks. This was made by JV, and he done an absolutely incredible job on this. Not too sure how long it took him to get it all done, but the overall compound has, I think, like 5 or so tracks in total, motocross and supercross combined. There is another motocross track on here, but I chose this one as my favourite out of the two. I've spun numerous laps with Charlie around here, and then I've done a couple of lobbies with you guys as well. Always good fun, really fast and flowy, some big jumps to toss the sideways on, and some slower, more technical sections as well, and I feel like it's got a bit of everything. Next up, we've got Redbud 2K. This is a track that had a little bit of controversy behind it when it first released. It was actually leaked ahead of time before it should have been, and Fat Muppet kind of then took it on again, kind of finished off where he started, and we ended up with this amazing track here. Unfortunately, it has been done a little bit dirty by the sand traction in this game recently, but I'm very excited for when the Beta 18 OEMs drop and we get updated tyres and sand, and this will become such more of a viable track than it is currently. But still in its current state, I really enjoy riding it. It's a very fast track, and much faster than I think a lot of people are used to, but it really appeals to that intermediate level rider, and it's nice. It's nice and easy for me to hop on and just spin a couple of laps here and there, and it's a really fun track, very pretty as well. Lots of effort put into the off-track objects and the textures and the models overall, so really good job from Fat Muppet on this one. Next, we have got the big boy. This is Moto Sandbox, created by Rubes, and I'm going specifically for the full loop around here. There's so many variations that you can do on this track. He's made various loops and layouts. There's like a main track, a pro loop, a swamp track, and so on. So you can make the track as long or as short as you like. It's so pretty. Again, it has that Floridian theme to it, the really light textured dirt overall, and it's very easy on the eyes. I love the effort he's gone through with all the like swampy trees and stuff to make it look super realistic as well. The water is really well done off the side. It's just them little details that make it look so pretty. And then in terms of erode, I think this is the best eroding track in the entire game. I'm not sure how he does it. He's always made really good eroding tracks, but from the first 2 laps on this track compared to about 10 laps deep, it turns into a completely different beast. The ruts get super deep and long, and you have to be really precise when you follow them or you'll tuck the front end, and it's just an amazing track all round. Probably the track that I find myself coming back to time and time again the most often. I think I've spun in the last month or so the most amount of laps on this track out of any other one in the game. Number 4 is probably a bit of a surprise pick for some of you. This is the race version of the MX Bikes of Nations Redbud. The reason I picked this track is not only because it now holds a very special place in my heart. As Team Great Britain, we did manage to win. I was riding a 250 as well, which was a bit odd, so I was trying out on a 450 just to record some footage for this video, and it's such a fast track. Like, there's very few places that you actually have to shut off, and usually I'd be a little bit against that, but I think I'm letting it slide this time round just because it is so fun and flowy. It's always nice to hit the leap regardless. Everybody loves the Roccos. The other uphill triple that is on Redbud is really nice to hit as well, and the ruts, they flow really nicely. Again, with the erode, this track does change completely from the beginning laps to the end. It does get quite beat up and difficult to ride fast and well, especially in the sandy sections, and the long sand whoops, they are very iconic too. If you don't get a perfect drive through those, you can lose so much time, but overall a really fun track and really well built by Stone Rider as well. It made for a really good event. Moving on to the joint effort by G-Dub and Bayer, this is the 2016 GP at Glen Helen, and this is probably one of the more technical tracks that's been released this year. I'd even go as far to say in the top 3 in terms of difficulty. It's very, very choppy in places, super easy for the front end to wash out, but I think that's what draws me towards it. I done one organised event on this track, and I done absolutely abysmal. I was riding around on the KTM 500, so as you can imagine, there's a little bit of a handful, but the track itself is amazing. Once you put some solid, consistent laps together, it feels incredibly rewarding. The road on it's really good too. The decals, the textures look really, really pretty. And in terms of a replica track, they've done such an amazing job on this one. And I'm very, very excited. Apparently they're going to be releasing the rest of like the Glen Helen, let's call it compound, so the Supercross. I'm not sure how much of the trails and stuff they'll include in there too. So very, very excited for that in the near future. And an amazing job from the pair of them. A track that I covered very, very recently, the MXGP of Belgium at Lommel. This is a track made by Callum Designs, and it was only his second ever track, but it took about 100 hours in total for him to put together. I think he done a very, very good job with all of the models, like the pits look really nice. The sand textures themselves, I think, are really nice. And in terms of a sand track, it's really nice to see a track that's so uneven all over the place. There's no like uniform rollers that you can just double your way around the track on. If you move a foot to the left or to the right, the track is completely different, and you're constantly trying to search for the best and the smoothest lines. The road works really well on it. Again, it's another one of them tracks that's been done a little bit dirty by the sand traction in Beta 17, but I have tried it with some of the Beta 18 tyres that are going to be released with the Beta 18 OEMs, and it's incredible. Like, it's so much fun, and you can just really smoothly carry your speed all around the outside of the track. You can go inside and kind of cut your distance down, but maybe it'll be a little bit rougher, and I think for a second track it's an incredible job. I think it's well up there to possibly like even in the top 2 or 3 of best ever released MXGP tracks in this game, and that is saying something because he's definitely up against some tough contenders there. But a really well made track, and I look forward to some more tracks made by him in the future as well. Now this is a track that I see flying under the radar a little bit. This is a track that both myself and Rum as well really enjoy, Somerset Valley, made by Razzles 126. It's just it's a really nice custom flowy track. There's not a whole lot else to say about it. I think the ruts are really well built. There's a couple of technical sections here and there. You got to get your jump timing down pretty good too, but once you've learnt the track overall, it's really fun and satisfying just to spin lap after lap on. You can do the track on basically any bike. There's just one massive triple that tends to be almost impossible, sorry, on a 125. Other than that, the track is really nice, and one of my favourite ever endings of one of my videos was on this track, where I came into the last corner with Rum and just absolutely tried punting him into oblivion, and somehow I ended up coming off worse. But really good track. I've had some very fun races around here. Again, the road gets super deep and super challenging, and there's quite interesting lines as well. There's a hip jump that you can unintentionally hit about halfway around the track, and there's this massive uphill double that you can turn into a triple if you land in the right place, because there's a little inside roller on the corner just after the jump, and it's just a very well built track again. Possibly the best sand track in the game. This is Valhalla, created by Huron. This is one that it kind of came out of the blue, to be honest. I didn't really see much build up to it when it was being made, but it is an amazing track. Like, it flows so well. It's a very long track, and it can be extremely difficult to try and get one solid lap in. It's so hard. There's a lot of blind jumps on it, and you've kind of got to learn your speeds all over the place. But currently on the store, it's got a 5 out of 5 star rating. I don't think I've ever seen anybody complain about the track. Maybe the only one negative thing I could ever say is just how perfect you have to be everywhere. But it was made to be difficult. He even mentions that in the post as well, that it's literally made for the best of the best, and it certainly achieves that. The ruts are nice and flowy. The rough is bloody rough. It can be hard in some places, but it's so fun, and it's probably my personal favourite sand track in the game right now. I really enjoy it, and I know a bunch of other people do as well. The 2019 version of Nowra Motoplex. Now, this was created by Maxime Baranchev, and it kind of came out of the blue, just popped out of nowhere, and I generally don't know off the top of my head if it is using the height map from MX Simulator, but it's a really, really fun track. I like it in sim, I like it in bikes, and I think even Rum done a video on this saying that it was his new favourite track when it originally released. Again, it's a little bit of a shame that sand traction is what it is right now, because I imagine if it was improved, this track would be absolutely incredible. The rough is built really, really, really well. There's just that perfect amount without it being overbearing. And in terms of online races, it works really well all the time. There's multiple ruts in each corner, so you can chop and change with people. And again, it's another track that really rewards you taking your time and being smooth. I feel like the smoother you are around here and the more you follow the ruts and roll on the throttle in the corners, the faster you end up going, rather than trying to just explode every rut and be really aggressive and basically try and beat up the track. It's really well built, and I don't know if we've seen anything else from him since this dropped, which is a bit of a shame, but more tracks of this style would be absolutely brilliant, and hopefully they come in 2023. Coastal MX is a track that I had the pleasure of getting to play a little bit early before it released, and it was released very, very recently actually, December 19 of 2022, and it is made by Higo, and the road on this track is absolutely incredible. It's definitely built for 250s or so. I felt when I was riding the 450 for this video, it was a little bit overkill. It really wasn't needed, but it's a nice, fun, flowy track. There's some technical sections, there's some big jumps, there's a nice little triple that you can hit at the top of one of the hills, and there's a nice little Easter egg around the outside as well. You can see a little devil. If you search hard enough, it's bloody difficult to find. But it's a really solid, well-built track. It's very, very pretty. I like the use of the decals both on the grass and on the track as well, and he's gone through a lot of effort in the pits, putting up a bunch of tents and lorries, and it's just a really well built track, and I look forward to seeing some more of him. It's really nice seeing his progress throughout his track building career, from what he started on to what he's building now. It's a night and day difference. He's improved so much as a track creator, and this track itself is his most recent one and is a testament to how far he's come. Time to get a little bit nostalgic. This is the JS7 Compound from MX vs ATV Alive, replicated over into MX bikes. This track, it took a lot of hours out of my childhood, is what I'm going to say. When I was back in the old PlayStation, was it PlayStation 3 or PS4? I feel like it might have even been PS3 back then, but such an amazing track, and it's so fun. It's obviously it's the full compound, it's the motocross track and the 2 supercross tracks, but we're focusing on just the motocross track for this video, and it flows really well. I feel like it is scaled for a 450. I think if you were on some of the smaller bikes, especially a 125, you would genuinely struggle to get over some of the jumps. They are absolutely huge. There's a couple of nice technical lines here and there. There's one section where you hit a few jumps in a row around a corner, and you can kind of triple and step on, step off, rather than trying to hit the line that was intended originally. And I think this was Matt Clark's first ever track that he managed to get on the store, so massive props to him. And he seems to be the Alive guy right now. He's always releasing Alive replicas. This one I think is the best out of all of them. I really do enjoy it, and it always brings back good memories of playing the old games, and I'm very glad that we get to enjoy it in this game as well. The MXGP of Immer, the PC Destroyer, as I like to call it. There is a low version of this track, to be fair, which I do need to download. I was doing this on the high one, and I was actually getting some bad frames, so my high-end PC was still struggling, but that just shows how much detail has gone into all of the models and textures on this track. If you go up close to any single one of the objects on the side of this track, you can literally see ripples in everything. Like, it's so clear. He's put so much effort into these, and it's a really pretty track as well. This is by Rossell, and it's his second ever track, and he seems to have a thing for Italian GP tracks. He'd done Faenza before this. This one is absolutely incredible as well, just like Faenza. I don't really have a bad thing to say about it. It's very fast in some sections, and it's also very tight and technical in others. I think it's that perfect level of difficulty, at least in my opinion. There is a good skill gap there in it. You can rail around the outsides everywhere if you wish. You can check up a little bit and take the short rim sides, and I'm pretty sure there is a lot of lines that kind of come out equal. And so I've never done a proper race on this track. I haven't had the pleasure to do it yet, but I imagine that it does race really well. And Ross Hell is another one of them people that I would just love to release more and more tracks, because he's only done 2, but both of them have been absolutely insane. It was everybody's Christmas gift this year. This is Avalanche, created by Huron, and this is kind of like one of them groundbreaking tracks. You know, we've got animated snow falling down in game as well, so it really, really immerses you. It's gone to the extent of all of the little bits of snow that you see dotted around on the track. Every single bit of that has a different texture to it and a different grip level. So it's like sand. So if you go out on all the snow, your back end will slide out, you will lose speed, and I just love that realism aspect of it so much. It's a very, very fast track. I love the ruts. They actually get built down into the ground rather than just sitting above the ground, which I really don't see on many tracks either. And I'm hoping that style of ruts does carry over to some of his other tracks as well. I'm hoping that he kind of builds upon that and uses it a bit more, because that's one of the key features of this track that I really, really love and I do enjoy. Not to mention, it is a beautiful track. Using reshaders is a bit overkill, so I turned them off for your eyes for this video, so show some appreciation there. But I absolutely love it. As with all Huron tracks, he seems to be the man, and I'm pretty sure he's the one that appears most in this video as well. But 100%, if you was to get any track on the store right now, it would be this one, in my opinion. It's so much fun, and especially in the winter season, you want to ride something a little bit snowy as well. You know, when someone's a legend in one game for track building, they're going to be good in another one. This is a track made by Valhalla, Sipu 2016, and it came out of nowhere. There was no screenshots of this beforehand, literally nothing. It just got dropped out of the blue, and probably one of the best two-stroke tracks in the entire game. The ruts are built so well. There's at least 2 ruts in every single corner that all end up being equal speed. The off-track is amazing. So the grass itself looks really pretty, but what he's done is just on the edges of the track everywhere, he's built these really, really harsh bumps, so it just deters people from cheating. Like, you can't low line any of the jumps because you'll just get ejectoed, CO cuzzed over the bars, and I love it. I hope that that is a track building method that more people adopt in the future, because there's one thing I can't stand, and that's cheaters. So to have a preventative measure in place like Valhalla has done on this track is incredible. I've seen a fair few hot laps of people riding around this track, and linking the whole thing together looks really, really sexy and incredible. You feel quite immersed on this track, because as you go into some of the corners, kind of, you've got banks built up around you, and you're sat quite deep in the track itself, so you can't see everything else. So it's just kind of you there in the moment. It's very, very pretty. It's his first track in MX bikes, and he's a bit of a goat in reflex, so I've heard. And I hope that he keeps building more for this, and I absolutely love this one. I'm very, very excited of what's to come in the future. Surprisingly, it's taken until now to get our first aerial 2022 track in the mix. This is Thunder Valley, which is round 3, and this was actually a free track because there were some issues in the previous week at the time that this was released, and I absolutely love this track. I think this is quite a lot of people's favourite track from the 2022 outdoor season. It is incredibly difficult to run fast, consistent laps around here. It is so rough in some places, and the really, really steep downhills mixed with the MX bike's physics can be a little bit funky at times, but I think that all adds to the character of this track. It's very, very pretty. The terrain looks amazing. Like, the hills, the up and down is so satisfying to ride on. And this was actually the track that we used to qualify for part of the MX Nations. We're going to qualify and race on it. And I had so many issues in that race, kind of swapping back and forth with Ginger Ninja, and it was just a really, really memorable race for me, just leading up to that massive Nations event. And I love the track. It is probably... yeah, I do think it is my favourite of all of the 2022 outdoor tracks, and I think Stone Rider done an amazing job, and all of the ARL track crew, sorry, not just Stone Rider by himself. But yeah, 100%, this is an amazing track, and if this is how kind of all of the tracks go moving forwards in terms of 23, 24, I know that some of the track creators are going to be changing here and there, I will be a very happy man, and I think everybody else will be as well. Oh, time for some controversy. Jesse Mullock's 2015 Erne. I absolutely adore this track. I think it's incredible. I love difficult tracks in this game. Everybody else, maybe not so much. The people that do suffer from some severe skill issue tend to not like this track so much and struggle with it. It's one of them tracks that you cannot rush. You have to be patient. You have to make sure that your front wheel is perfect in every corner, or you're probably going to be tumbling down a hill, maybe 2 or 3 lanes over, and possibly wiping somebody out in the meantime. I've seen it happen. It's a really, really fun track. As I said, it's super, super difficult. Jesse I think he spent a couple of months on this, if I'm honest. I remember seeing screenshots from very early on. All of the off-track stuff looks incredible as well, all of the objects. There's so many people in the crowd around the outside as well. You do feel really, really immersed when you're riding it. And again, it's one of them tracks that, even if you're newer to the game, I'd recommend going and playing. And even if you struggle for like 10, 20 laps whilst you're trying to learn the track and where to go, it's very, very rewarding. You will learn some really good bike control on it, and I hope he builds some more things like this. I really think that he was done a bit dirty by everyone, giving the track a bit more stick than it deserved, but I really, really enjoy it, and hopefully that counts for something. Welcome to the Jungle. This is probably one of the best fantasy tracks, I want to say, in the entire game. This is made by JV, and we're uncovering the main track here for this video. The Madagascar main track it's a bit of a roller coaster. There are some insanely big jumps. It is so good on a 125, it's unreal. You can just barely get over everything if you are perfect the entire way round. Of course, there's some other tracks here and there. There's a beach track as well. There's an enduro loop that kind of goes here, there, and everywhere, all over the place. But this main track, I really, really enjoy. It takes a hell of a lot of laps to learn how fast you need to hit every jump at. Unless you are on a 125 course, you can hit everything flat out and be perfect. But on the bigger bikes, the 250 and the 450, you might find yourself flat landing things, you might find yourself coming up short on other things, and it's such a long track as well. It's genuinely really hard to kind of get everything in your head and learn what's what and learn what jump you're on, because a lot of the jumps are quite blind too. But it's so pretty. All of the objects are really nice. I love the environment, and just the general ambience of the track itself it's really nice. I can't say a bad thing about it. This was one of the original paid tracks as well on MX Bike's shop, and I think it's another one of them that kind of set the standard of what tracks should be, and all of the custom stuff on it as well is amazing. Although you do have to be careful if you're recording a video on it, because there are some ladies who may have forgot the top half of their bikini dotted around. So another ARL track here, we have got Unadilla. Now, I actually didn't play this track when it first released. I kind of gave up halfway through the season because I was down in points after missing a round, and it wasn't until I think round 11 that I came back. However, I downloaded and played this track purely off the back of a random 125 race that got held on it, and it's a really, really good track. The ruts on this are built very nicely. There's lots and lots of line selection in all of the corners. Screw you is a little bit of a screw you. MX Bike's physics don't really like the hill, but I think that's part of the fun, is you just kind of cross your fingers every time you go up it and hope you don't tumble all the way back down to the bottom. And you can get some serious speed going around here once you've got your line styled. The ruts are built so well, you can just get in there, crank her over, get on the gas, and absolutely haul ass. It's so fun. The sky shot, fun as always. The massive finish line jump where you just land to flat surprisingly works really well. I would have thought on a game like MX Bikes with all the front end and bouncy physics it would kind of put you in the A&E, but it's really, really good. I really, really enjoy it. Another Stone Rider / ARL track crew creation, and a really, really fun track to play. Okay, now we have genuinely got everybody's favourite track right now. I'm not sure what Kels has done. When I first played this track, I was like, yeah, nice, it is a good track, the road's good, but my god, the community has just ate this one up. It is literally the top of the server list every single time I log on to MX Bikes to play a game. People seem to adore it. It's the public lobby favourite. I've seen some disgustingly fast laps around here, like 4 seconds faster than I can do. I don't know how people do it. When it gets rough, it gets bloody rough. You need to be watching that front end as much as possible. There's a nice fun sand section in there. If you apex it really nicely, you can carry loads and loads of speed through it. Not really anything negative to say about this track, if I'm honest. I do get the occasional FPS lag if we've got a full lobby in there, but I'm not sure what else you could really change in it. I had no idea, by the way, there is a Supercross track off in the distance on here. I had no idea until I was doing a live stream and someone told me. So that's hidden, if you never knew. There's a nice random Supercross track out the back of this, but we really did need a new WW Ranch in this game, and I'm glad he finally done it, and he's gone a bit quiet as of late, I will say that. So I'm not sure if he's taking a break or if he's cooking up something new for everybody to enjoy, but it wouldn't shock me if you see Kels tracks on the shop in the future, because everybody just seems to absolutely love it. And then finally, but by no means least, as I say, these are in no order, this is the one that really started it all off. This is the Huron Compound. Literally a year's worth of work going into this, about 5 or so different tracks across it, but we are really focusing on the Pro MX track for this video. It's really, really fun. It's difficult to learn. Again, it's quite a long track, but the elevation in it, the size of the jumps, you can get so steezy, it's unreal. And just the general speed all around, it's probably one of the fastest tracks in the game, just in terms of average speed, just across an entire lap time. It's incredibly pretty. I cannot understate enough how much time and effort this man put into this track. And like I said, it is the OG in terms of setting that standard on what paid tracks should be, and I have nothing but good things to say about Huron and his tracks, and I'm always so privileged when he reaches out to me to get to try things out a little bit early and then show off for you guys, and I can't wait to see what else he's going to be working on in the future. I know every time I see that pop up and I see the name Huron, I'm like, oh my god, we've got another banger, and that'll do it. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I guarantee there's probably one track in there that I just completely forgot about. I did try and scroll through all of MX Bike's mods since the start of 2022, just have a look, and I did the same for the MX Bike shop. I did forget about the forums, actually. I could have had an L Gamer moment right there. But that is my top 20 tracks, and that's not to say that any tracks that didn't make this list are crap by any means. There are so many good tracks in this game, but I had to draw the line somewhere. I had to try and get 20. I couldn't do 10, but I generally couldn't. I have no idea which ones I would cut from this list and which ones I'd keep. So you got 20 overall, a little bit of everything in there. Let me know which ones you agree with. Let me know which ones you would add in, which ones you'd remove. I'd be very interested to know down below. I'm probably going to do this with Supercross as well, although I might go down to 10 for Supercross as there's not quite as many tracks. Let me know if you want to see that. But thank you very much for watching. If you could drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, I would greatly appreciate it. Hope you have a lovely rest of the day, whatever it is you're up to, and until I catch you in the next video, peace.